Okay, this lesson is about adding and subtracting positives and negatives. So really there's only four situations that we need to worry about. You have A plus B, that's just regular addition. And you have A minus B, that's just regular subtraction. And then you have negative A plus B and negative A minus B. Now you might say, well, what about A minus negative B? Well, whenever you have a negative right next to a negative, you can combine the two negatives together into a positive. Okay, so similarly, if I have A plus negative B, if I have a plus and a minus next to each other, I can combine those together to make a minus. So this top one would be just A plus B, and this one here would be A minus B. So in summary, if you ever have a minus minus, that becomes a plus. Minus minus becomes a plus. And a plus minus, or a minus plus, if they're next to each other, those can become minuses. And of course, I guess a plus plus will become a plus. So once you make these simplifications, combining the minus minus together to make a plus, or plus minus, or minus plus to make a minus, then you end up with one of these four situations. And so we just need to handle each of these four separately. So let's try an example here. Suppose we have negative 1 plus 4. Okay, which situation is that? Well, that's the same as just saying, get rid of the parentheses, that's just negative 1 plus 4. Okay, so which situation would that be? That would be negative A plus B. So in that case, all you do is you switch it around and make it B minus A instead. So that would be equals 4 minus 1. Just switch the order, but make sure the 1 is still getting subtracted. So everybody knows 4 minus 1 is 3. Okay, so not too bad. Now what if, on the other hand, we had negative 4 plus 1 instead? Well, again, that's this situation here with the red star. So we switch it around and say that's 1 minus 4, which is kind of like a standard subtraction, but the 4 is bigger than the 1. So we just subtract and then make the final answer negative. So if you have A minus B, and the B is bigger than the A, then the final answer needs to be negative. But besides that, it's just a regular subtraction. Okay, so let's try another example here. Suppose we had negative 3 minus 1. So in that case, I can get rid of the parentheses again. It's negative 3 minus 1. Which of these cases is it? Well, it's just the negative A minus B case. Okay, so what you do in this case, if you have two negatives, is you just add them together and make the whole thing negative. So you could write that as negative 3 plus 1. Kind of factor out the negative. So you add them together, and that's 4, and make it negative, so it's negative 4. So that's what you do in this case, negative A minus B. You add the A and the B, and then you make the whole thing negative. All right, so what if we have 6 minus 10? Well, which case is that? Well, that would be the second case here. We've kind of already dealt with this. If you have A minus B, where B is bigger than A, you just subtract the other way and make it negative. So this would be negative 4, because you see the 10 is bigger than the 6. And I'm subtracting a bigger number from a smaller number, So the answer has to be negative. Okay, so we've handled all the situations except for the easiest one, which is when you're just adding two positive numbers. So let's just try that. So if we have 5 plus 8, it's 13. So we can put a star next to this one. We know how to do A plus B. All right, so let's try a couple more here. Suppose we have 9 minus 5. Which case is that? That's just A minus B. And you just subtract. The 5 is smaller than the 9, so it comes out to be a positive 4. Okay, not too bad. How about negative 3 plus 9? Okay, in this case, this is negative A plus B. So remember what to do. You switch it around the other way. 9 minus 3. And that's 6. 3 is smaller than 9, so you can just subtract, and the answer is positive. All right. How about if we have negative 5 plus negative 3? Okay, in this case, I've got a plus and a minus next to each other. Remember what happens there? The plus and the minus can get combined together into a minus. So it ends up with a negative 5 minus 3. So that's negative A minus B. So you add them together and make it negative. Negative 8. All right, so what if I have negative 4 minus negative 2? Okay, so what happens here? The minus minus next to each other, they can get combined together into a plus. So if I rewrite that, that's negative 4 plus 2. So this is negative A plus B, so I switch it around, and that's 2 minus 4. 4 is bigger than 2, so I just subtract, but make sure it's negative in the end. Negative 2 is the answer there. All right, let's see. Did I cover all the situations? How about 5 plus negative 2? Again, plus minus right next to each other can become a minus. And we end up with 5 minus 3. Oops, sorry. 5 minus 2. 2 is smaller than 5, so it's just a regular subtraction. You get 3. Okay?